Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, brothers and sisters, and everybody out there, wherever you might be in the world. Thank you for joining us here on Emergency Management Associates. We're coming to you from the Area Command, 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. We want to welcome everybody who's joined the show today. Sorry, we've been working on getting on the air for the past 2.5 hours, and one thing left to another, and we're on later than normal. We just got off the phone with our sources from Oregon and Washington in regards to wildfires. We've gotten off the phone before that with our sources from Hawaii, and we have a complete report about both of those tonight. We also have a report about nationwide earthquakes. If you'll just stand by with us, the first thing we want to do, as we have been doing for quite some time, is the Pledge of Allegiance and the National Anthem. Tonight, we're not going to have the Pledge of Allegiance. We're going a different route tonight. We're going to start off with the nation's national anthem from Itongi in Hawaii.
Now, we ask you to please rise if you are able as we prepare for the performance of our national anthem. Performing Federal Way Washington resident who recently won ABC's American Idol, EMSC.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets had left the bombs gave clues to the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave over the land of the free and the
Itongi with the national anthem from the Major League Baseball All-Star game just a few weeks ago. We appreciate that. We wanted to do something special tonight, and that's what we chose to do. We thank you all for your participation and for letting us do that tonight. Folks, as we have been doing, we're going to give you an update on the fires. People are still in danger in Hawaii. Please do not forget that. People are still in danger in Hawaii. There is still a fire raging in Hawaii. I want to make sure that nobody forgets that. I've got a complete update now from the fire in Hawaii right here via Hawaii News Now.
We have An update to pass along to you, new at noon. This is new video just into the digital center. Less than 2 hours after special access placards were supposed to start being handed out to West Maui residents, workers, and emergency personnel, Maui police have suspended the program. Officials say the decision was made because of an overwhelming demand from non-essential individuals and non-Maui residents who have flooded the distribution area. Now, the placards were supposed to be required for entrance into West Maui starting tomorrow. MPD says it will continue allowing access to essential workers and West Maui residents as before. Now, we have a crew gathering more information and reaction to this story. We'll bring you any updates on air and online as we get them.
And meanwhile, the death toll has grown to 96, which surpasses the casualty count of the 2018 Camp Fire in California. That left 85 people dead and destroyed the town of Paradise.
Now, the vast majority of the victims of Maui have not been identified. People with missing family members have been asked to go to the Family Assistance Center for a DNA swab. That's located at the Kahului Community Center. The death toll is likely to rise. We did not get an update today yet on that. And at last report, only 3% of the rubble had been searched. Now, so far, no definitive word on the number of injuries. President Biden said he's considering coming to Hawaii, but that would likely happen once the fires are extinguished and the search for victims has finished. Meanwhile, a special K-9 task force is on Maui from Los Angeles to search the destruction, trying to find any victims and possible survivors. Now, FEMA activated the California Task Force Team 2 Urban Search and Rescue K-9 team for this, sending 3 K-9s, their handler, and 2 LA Fire paramedics. Now, it's a difficult task even for these well-trained crews, but they say they're ready to do the job.
We want to get to work. We want to see how many people we can help out there, bring closer to those family members, and with the support of these dogs, hopefully nobody gets injured, and we just try to do the best we can.
It's a lot of responsibility. It means a lot. I've met people impacted by this already.
Now, the dogs are trained both to help find live victims and those who weren't able to make it. The K-9s and 2 other teams will be out in Maui for at least 2 weeks.
And joining us now is our Allison Blair. Allison, I believe you just got off a call with the latest update from FEMA. What can you tell us there?
That's right, Dylan. One of the biggest takeaways from that phone call is that the federal government is still classifying this disaster as a search and rescue operation. This is how they explained it. Yes, hundreds of people are still unaccounted for. However, they believe issues with communication may still be prohibiting some of those people from connecting with their families. The Red Cross is assisting in reunification efforts. A spokesperson said the agency received more than 2,500 calls into their call centers from people looking for their loved ones. We're told about 800 of those cases have since been resolved. The other big takeaway, survivors. If you haven't already, sign up for FEMA assistance. I'm told about 3,000 people are registered so far. There are programs that are up and running right now that can help with immediate basic needs. One is called the Critical Needs Assistance. This is how it was explained.
The CNA program is designed so survivors can apply for a one-time $700 payment, and this money can be used for any critical needs: food, water, medical supplies, infant formula, diapers, or other consumables that might be needed to help them bring about some semblance of stability during this difficult time.
Now, the other program is called the Transitional Shelter Assistance Program. It enables survivors to stay in pre-identified hotels and motels for a limited amount of time as government works to develop a housing plan. FEMA pays for those hotel rooms, so there's no out-of-pocket expense for survivors. Again, both of the programs available right now, but the first step is that you need to apply for assistance, and there are 3 ways to do that. 1, you can apply on the FEMA app. You can also go online and apply at disasterassistance.gov or by calling the number that you see there on your screen. It's 1-800-621-3362. Back to you guys.
All right. Thank you so much, Ali, for that update from FEMA. Meanwhile,
Hey, guys, what is going on, guys, is very serious out there. One fire is still burning over near Lahaina. One fire is still burning over near Lahaina. and they have that 85% control. So hopefully within the next day or so, they'll have that completely contained, and shortly after that, it will be out. Now, as they stated, only 3% of the ruins have been gone through. You saw that canine team from California. Several more canine teams were en route and are now on the ground in Maui. Those teams came from such places as New Jersey and Utah and Idaho and other places all over the country. They have asked for teams from all over. Those teams are either there or will arrive within a matter of 12 to 15 hours, I would believe. That's what we're told. Now, 3% of the ruins or rubble have been gone through. As I explained last night, this is still critical. This is still very critical. Why am I saying that? The death toll has, not the death toll. The death toll has remained at 96 people that have been found deceased. The number of people has gone from 2,000 to 1,700. The number of people that have been classified as unfound has gone down, meaning the rescue crews and FEMA and the Maui disaster teams that are on location, on site, have located over 300 people already and taken them off the missing persons list. The death toll has not been determined as of today, but still only 3% of the rubble has been gone through. The area over there in West Maui, in the Lahaina area especially, over in upcountry Maui as well, that area still has to be searched. The canine teams are increasing in numbers, and as the teams get on the ground and get situated, they will be responding over there to that area. There are some limitations though. The men, women, and their animals need nutrition. They also need water. That is very critical. Those dogs have to wear shoes in that rubble because some of it is still warm. Hawaii fire crews and other fire crews that have gotten there to assist Hawaii Fire have been watering down the area to make sure that rescue crews can get into the site and do not get burned, including the dogs. So the fire departments are still in Lahaina, still in the upcountry, and they're also fighting the fire still over near Lahaina and the western side of the upcountry area. It's still on fire. As the fire department finally contains that fire and puts out the hot spots, more rescue crews can get out in that area to help find bodies. Now, I will not ever show any recoveries on this program. I do not want to get knocked off the air. But these crews are finding people. They are finding people. But again, and I've said that several times already and I'll say it again, only 3% of the rubble has been gone through. And that will increase in the coming days. But that is what we have for Hawaii, except for one more thing. And I know this is distasteful for quite a few people, but I'm going to give you information from FEMA on how you might apply for assistance from Hawaii FEMA. This information is critical also. There are a lot of people that are displaced and need this information. That's why we're putting it out.
Our heartfelt condolences go out to the families who have lost their homes and loved ones, in the historic wildfire. We cannot begin to understand the amount of grief, sorrow, and loss that the residents of Hawaii must feel at this time. Our prayers are with the people of Hawaii, but not just our prayers. Every asset we have will be available to them. Administrator Griswold and U.S. Fire Administrator Dr. Moore Merrill are in Hawaii assessing the severe damage on the island and identifying ways that FEMA and the entire federal family can provide long-term relief to the affected communities. The impacts of these wildfires are historically catastrophic, and a recovery like this one will take time. Time for the communities to regain their strength, time to heal, and time to rebuild. With communication shortfalls on the island, we are requesting local leaders and organizations to help get critical information into the hands of survivors who need assistance. We are asking all people impacted by this tragedy to please apply for FEMA assistance. Survivors with internet or telephone access can register for assistance by visiting disasterassistance.gov or calling 1-800-621-3362 or using the FEMA app. For those trying to locate Ohana and loved ones, a family assistance center is open at the Kahului Community Center. Those with phone access can also call the American Red Cross at 1-800-733-2767.
Okay? Does everybody understand that? That's why we gave this out. Okay? After this program is over, you can also go to those sites that she talked about. You can review this video, get that information, and go to those sites that she spoke about. There is assistance out there. There is no need for anybody on Maui to be without some kind of place to go, some place that is safe from the elements, where you can get a good night's sleep and be able to evaluate where you go from there. If FEMA is available, use it. Use it. Okay? Now, for the Oregon wildfires, these started a couple days ago, and we have information for that tonight. I would like to give you this right now. This is pertinent information. I would ask everybody to watch this information. It is necessary. This comes from First Alert Weather in Oregon and KPTV in Oregon.
The governor of Oregon has declared the Emergency Conflagration Act for the Lookout Fire in the Cascade foothills of Lane County. This act allows officials to mobilize other firefighters and equipment to help officials protect people and the environment. The announcement came on the same day the Lane County Sheriff's Office issued Level 3 Go Now evacuation notices for certain areas near the fire. They include Taylor Road and North Bank Road, as well as Mona Campground and Lookout Campground. The Lookout fire is burning in the Willamette National Forest near the community Mackenzie Bridge. As of this morning, the flames have burned 215 acres. The fire is at 0% containment. To help, 2 task forces were sent to Lane County over the weekend because of the growing fire danger, and red flag warnings were posted for the region. This is just one of 7 large wildfires 2,600 firefighters and support personnel are working to put out. All right.
Okay? Let me play that again. I think it's necessary.
The governor of Oregon has declared the Emergency Conflagration Act for the Lookout Fire in the Cascade foothills of Lane County. This act allows officials to mobilize other firefighters and equipment to help officials protect people and the environment. The announcement came on the same day the Lane County Sheriff's Office issued Level 3 Go Now evacuation notices for certain areas near the fire. They include Taylor Road and North Bank Road, as well as Mona Campground and Lookout Campground. The Lookout fire is burning in the Willamette National Forest near the community Mackenzie Bridge. As of this morning, the flames have burned 215 acres. The fire is at 0% containment. To help, 2 task forces were sent to Lane County over the weekend because of the growing fire danger, and red flag warnings were posted for the region. This is just one of 7 large wildfires 2,600 firefighters and support personnel are working to put out. All right.
Okay, that's a lot of people. That's a heck of a lot of people. Let me show you one more short video that I picked up earlier today. This is the lookout fire. Okay, that's a lot of acreage actually. You're only seeing a part of what is happening out there in Oregon. Again, this is huge. This is huge. Let me give you some information that I found out about that through my conversations with our sources in Oregon. Sandy River, Clackamas County. Bedrock. At 7 a.m. they issued an evacuation order. Over in the Curry County area, I don't understand exactly, Oman Creek, I think it's called, Oman Creek, O-B-M-A-N Creek, the Curry Country area, between 135 or 13 South and Port Orford, mile marker 315. 22 acres have burned and it's 35% contained. Evacuation notices have been sent out and that area is still being evacuated from what I understand. Now over in Klamath National Forest, 22,026 acres have been burned. That's southeast of Eugene, Oregon. Okay? 22,026 acres have been burned in the Klamath National Forest area, southeast of Eugene. Now, folks, there is ways to get information. Okay? There are ways to get information. That is over in the fire district area. So you can go there and pull information about evacuation centers and go to that area. We're still pulling information about evacuation centers, and as soon as we get information on those centers, we will pass it on. But that's huge. That's huge. The fires there are burning. 22,000 acres is nothing to sneeze at. It's huge. If you are in that area and you have fire nearby, don't wait to be evacuated. Get out of there now. Don't wait till they knock on your door and tell you to leave. Get out of there now. That you're going to only save yourself time and agony. Honestly. Get your stuff done. Now, over on the Hawaii fires and the Oregon fires, okay? People picked up and took whatever they could get. Literally. They picked up their pets, picked up some important paperwork and left. They didn't even have emergency preparedness kits. I've heard so many testimonials that say they wish they had an emergency preparedness kit. Folks, this is critical. It doesn't matter where you live, whether it's Hawaii, Oregon, Washington, Idaho, Nevada, Utah, anywhere. If there is a fire, you're going to lose everything. The best thing that you can do is prepare an emergency preparedness kit. Even in Europe, you're going to see fire this season. We've had fire over in Italy, Sicily area. Let me show you another fire near Palermo, Sicily, Italy area. This became available to me earlier today. This is serious, guys. I can't tell you how serious it is, because people are going to lose their lives. People are actually going to lose their lives, and it's very, very sad. Okay, I'm not going to play that music because I don't want to get a strike. Klovo Island, Croatia. This is Greece. Palermo, Sicily, Italy. They're doing the same thing that happened over in Maui. Running from the fire. Fire crowding the highways. People risking their lives to get away from the fire. This is Syria. Okay, look at that. This is why I'm saying it's everywhere. It's not just in the United States, it's around the world. Last year we saw huge wildfires in Spain burning out of control, consuming acreage where people were killed. It was all over. Russia, South America, Central America, Mexico, down in Australia, over in Japan. China had wildfires. Russia had wildfires. And I'm sure it's happening in Russia and China right now. They just don't tell us all the time. Make sure you have emergency preparedness kits and you have fuel in your cars. Don't let your cars get under half a tank of fuel. That may pin disaster at your door. Don't wait until the last minute to get out. Make sure you have yourselves prepared. This is of utmost importance now. Make sure you get it. Catherine Sigerson says, where do people find blankets? You can find blankets at these shelters. They have cots and they have blankets. However, if you don't have yours, if you do have yours, that's even better. Bring as much stuff as you possibly can to the shelters. Shelters are now allowing pets, but the pets must be restrained with leashes and or kennels or carriers. Make sure you have your pets restrained, and they must have the vaccination records for your pets. Okay? Make sure you have all your medical bags. Make sure you have everything necessary. Do not leave any prescription medicines back, because that could prove harmful for yourself, your loved ones. Make sure you have your prescriptions, all your medical information. Make sure you have a medical kit with bandages and all kinds of ointments. Make sure you have all of that. I have that and more. Yes, I've been doing it for a long time, you might say. Yes, I have. But I've been giving you this message for a very long time. This is critical. It's absolutely critical to save your lives. And I kid you not. Okay? So I've given you information about why. I've given you information about what is going on in Oregon. One last thing. Let me play this for you again. Okay? This is FEMA. This is information you need about your assets in... Oh, crud. Hold on a second, guys. I have no idea what happened here, but I'm about to write it, so it's right.
Our heartfelt condolences go out to the families who have lost their homes and loved ones in the historic wildfire. We cannot begin to understand the amount of grief, sorrow, and loss that the residents of Hawaii must feel at this time. Our prayers are with the people of Hawaii, but not just our prayers. Every asset we have will be available to them. Administrator Criswell and U.S. Fire Administrator Dr. Moore Merrill are in Hawaii assessing the severe damage on the island and identifying ways that FEMA and the entire federal family can provide long-term relief to the affected communities. The impacts of these wildfires are historically catastrophic, and a recovery like this one will take time. Time for the communities to regain their strength, time to heal, and time to rebuild. With communication shortfalls on the island, we are requesting local leaders and organizations to help get critical information into the hands of survivors who need assistance. We are asking all people impacted by this tragedy to please apply for FEMA assistance. Survivors with internet or telephone access can register for assistance by visiting disasterassistance.gov or calling 1-800-621-3362 or using the FEMA app. For those trying to locate Ohana and loved ones, a family assistance center is open at the Kahului Community Center. Those with phone access can also call the American Red Cross at 1-800-733-2767.
Okay? I played that again because I want to make sure you have that information. Okay? Now, one of our viewers here on the chat says, don't forget your cell phone chargers too. Becca, thank you so much for that information. That is a very good suggestion. Don't forget your cell phones, don't forget your chargers, and don't forget your chargers for your Bluetooth as well. I've got my Bluetooth in my ear because I'm expecting a phone call from Hawaii. I'm hoping they don't call while I'm on the air, but I would ask them to put it out on the air as well. I might as well do that, or they might as well do it because they're asking me to do that anyway. Don Patoka says the big five to consider for your master plans: prevention, protection, response, recovery, and mitigation. Those are the biggest things. Okay? Situations are absolutely dangerous. Situations are absolutely dangerous. One of the questions that's also come up, and I want to address this right now. In some of the videos that I've seen that the command center has shown me, and I don't want to show it to you because of graphic images, but all of those rescue teams, all of the rescue teams, and the people that were let into the area yesterday were all wearing masks, and there's a reason for it. Folks, there is ash blowing around. No one wants to get that in their lungs or their breathing passages. That's number one. Number two, people have died in the area. The odor of deceased individuals can be very overwhelming. And sometimes even putting something else that you might be carrying in your pockets or your purses might be valuable in helping you overcome that. There's a lot of reasons, okay? When people die, diseases happen. Diseases are out there. They are cautioning everybody to protect themselves. Now, with the first video we showed you, the Hawaiian Maui police were offering for people that were residents over in West Maui the ability to go into their areas to search for valuables and even try to find individuals that may have been left there, to help with the search for people. Now, too many people that were not residents of West Maui were trying to get in. Too many people were trying to get those placards that had no business being in that area. And they had to stop them and turn them around. You folks in Hawaii, you need to pay attention to the regulations. Do not get in those lines over at Maui Police, at those roadblocks. Do not do it. You are preventing residents from getting in there, bona fide residents that live there. Police and rescue personnel are checking identification cards and driver's licenses. If you don't have a driver's license, they're not going to let you in unless you have a utility bill with you proving residence in that area. If you don't belong in those lines and you don't belong in there, stay out of those lines. You're inhibiting people from being in there that belong in there, that want access to their homes and possibly to help look for individuals of their family. Don't get in there if you don't belong there. If you are arrested for attempted looting, you will spend a lot of time behind bars. Okay? I'm just putting that out there. That's one of the things that they've been talking about. They've said it time and time again, and I'm putting that out there to you. Animals and Humans and Disasters is here in the chat. Pet food. Okay? At some of the shelters, you might find pet food available. But if your pet is used to your pet food, they might get sick, or even their bowels will change and they could get sick from eating pet food that they're not used to. Be very wary about it. Okay? Be very wary. Okay? Up-to-date animals rabies tags for your pets. It's absolutely necessary. Okay, you don't want to cause diarrhea in your pets. It can make them very ill. Don't do that. The animals that are out there in the disaster rescue area, those dogs have been specifically trained. They also are carrying masks as well as their human canine officers. Okay? Everybody has to be protected. Everybody needs to be protected. Folks, we have been talking about emergencies and disasters for a very long time. And now we have this specific emergency that we are asked to pass on information, and we still have people that are not listening. I'm asking all of you that watch this program, get on the ball. Start paying attention to what we've been talking about. This is for your benefit and your benefit only. Those people that don't listen, they're not going to listen. We can pass this information on, but you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink. Please pass this information on. This is absolutely critical. And please pay attention to it yourselves. I've been talking about this for over 4 years now. Nearly 4.5 years. Folks, I hate to be nagging. I hate to be telling you what you have to do, but nobody else is going to do it. Until you get to a line where they're not going to allow you entrance because you don't have the regulation information. You're not vaccinated. You don't belong in the area. Okay? You need to have this information. It's critical for you. Okay, I hate harping on it. I really do. Now, I want to talk about earthquakes. Everybody has been wanting me to talk about earthquakes, and that's exactly where we're going with this. Okay, let me take down my banner. We're going to talk about earthquakes worldwide, and then we're going to work into the United States of America. I want to go worldwide here. Now, the information that we're showing you here is not just information that is available. It's only the information that USGS wants us to show. But I can guarantee you, look over here in Indonesia. They're not showing but one earthquake, and then one up north of Sumatra in the Nicobar Islands. This came out as a 5.1 earthquake in the Nicobar Islands north of Sumatra, Indonesia. They downgraded it to a 4.8 moderate quake. They're calling it a light quake. It's a moderate quake. Over here, just east of Java in southeastern Indonesia. This is in Lopolos, Timor-Leste region of Indonesia. This is also 4.5 moderate earthquake. This is 103 kilometers deep. 103 kilometers deep. I'm sorry, miles. My bad. 104 miles deep. About 80 kilometers deep. This is down in the asthenosphere. This is down where the plastic magma is. Okay? This one over in the Nicobar Islands, this is only 10 kilometers deep, 6.2 miles deep. Now I want to go over here to northeast India. Kalingani, India. This is a large 5.3 earthquake. A large 5.3 earthquake. This is 21 miles deep. This is in the crust of the earth. This is a tectonic earthquake. Notice where it is. Notice it's right along that huge earthquake superhighway. That earthquake fault. Okay? That's why that earthquake happened. Now, we're going to go over here to the Mariana Island region. This is the biggest earthquake, the largest earthquake of the day. This is a 6.1 at least. And I believe it's probably closer to a 6.4, 6.5 earthquake. I should know in a few hours exactly how large this earthquake really is. This is 168 miles southeast of San Jose Village, Guam. 168 miles southeast of San Jose Village, Guam. They've also classified this as 10 kilometers deep, 6.2 miles deep. I think this may also be a deeper quake. Okay? At least a 6.1 earthquake. This is a very strong earthquake. Now, when it came out, they announced it as a 6.1 very strong earthquake. They went from calling 4.0s, 4.9 earthquakes light, and calling 5.0s to 5.9 moderate earthquakes. Since when can you go from moderate earthquake to a very strong earthquake? Okay? So again, they are lying to people, trying to hide information. This was a very strong earthquake. If this earthquake had hit land, it would have done a tremendous amount of damage, especially at Guam. Especially at Guam. Okay? We go north. This earthquake is southeast of Japan in the Izu Islands. This is a 4.2. Earlier today, they had another earthquake closer to Japan. It was a 4.8 earthquake in the Bonin Islands. a 4.8 earthquake in the Bonin Islands. Now, let me tell you just a little bit more about this earthquake. This was a very deep earthquake. This was 265 miles deep. This is way down in the asthenosphere where the plastic magma is. Okay? That's a very deep earthquake. Going up here to Kamchatka Peninsula in the lower southern end of Kamchatka Peninsula. This is a 4.5 moderate earthquake in southern Russia. It's in Ozernovsky, Russia. Ozernovsky. Ozernovsky, Russia. A 4.5 earthquake, 90 miles deep. This is also down in the asthenosphere. We look through the Aleutian Islands. Okay? We don't see anything in the western Aleutian Islands until we get over here. This is near Atka, Alaska. 10 miles east of Atka, Alaska. This is a 2.3 earthquake. A 2.3 earthquake. Let's zoom in and take a look at it. It's just barely off the coast of a volcano. Just barely off the coast of a volcano. And folks, it's 100 miles deep. Down in the magma. Down in the magma next to a volcano. Okay? Over here, southeast of there, on the Aleutian Island Fault. This is a 4.2 earthquake. I'm sorry, not 4.2. This is a 2.2 magnitude earthquake. A 2.2 magnitude earthquake. It's 24 miles deep. Okay? It's over here in the Aleutian Island Trench here. Okay? Going further east. This is a moderate 4.2 earthquake. This is 24.7 miles deep, 25 miles deep. A 4.2 earthquake, but look what's hiding behind it. Look what's hiding behind it. This is a large 5.0 earthquake, and it's 65 miles away from Akutan, Alaska. Again, it's in the ocean waters of the North Pacific here. A large 5.0 earthquake, again, 25 miles deep. Okay? South of there. Folks, that is a 1.8 magnitude earthquake near Unimark, Alaska. Near Unimark, Alaska. Now you'll notice that the earthquakes have been taken down. Okay? We're just going to have to wait just a couple minutes until I rectify the situation, because USGS is playing games here again. They've gotten to be doing this a lot lately, and we know how to overcome it, and so we will. Again, we have to see the whole world here. We're going to cover the world here, but I want to show you what is going on here. That one earthquake that went away there was here, 1.8 tremor near Unimak Island region of Alaska. Okay? Now, let's go further east. I'm not going to show all of this. I'm not going to show all of this. This is along the Aleutian Island ridge there. There's a 1.8 tremor there. This is south of the peninsula of Alaska. We go up to the peninsula. We have a 2.1 earthquake here. A 2.1 minor earthquake. 45 miles northeast of Chignik, Alaska. Chignik, Alaska. We go further east. A 3.7 earthquake. This is in the Cook Inlet here. This is a Cook Inlet here in Alaska. A 3.7 earthquake in the water here. We go southeast of there. This is southeast of Kodiak Island. Kodiak Island. This is a 3.1 earthquake, and it's right on top of this huge ridge here. The Aleutian Island Trench Ridge here. We go further east, and what do we come to? Old Ililama volcano, and we're still getting these swarms of earthquakes hitting here. I'm only going to hit a couple of them. This is a 2.9, 3.0 earthquake at a volcano. This one right next to the volcano is another 3.0. Karluk, Alaska. Karluk, Alaska. And we have all kinds of tremors here as well. Okay? We go further north into the Cook Inlet here. This is a 1.8 tremor here. No big deal. It's in the water. If it's in the water and it's a larger earthquake than this, and even the tremors, the seismic waves dissipate in the water. If it was a larger earthquake, depending on where it was in the water, the people on land probably would not feel it. This earthquake here, this is near San Pedro Bay. Why do I talk about San Pedro Bay? This is 42 miles north of San Pedro Bay. Now we're talking about Mount Redoubt in this region. Mount Redoubt is further up here. Okay? We get closer to it. This is Happy Valley, a 1.6 tremor here as well. We get closer to it. This is a 0.4 microquake. Now we're right next to Mount Redoubt. Right next to Mount Redoubt. This is a 1.7 tremor, and right here is a 1.7 tremor here. This is near Nikiski, Alaska. Over on the north side of Redoubt, there's a small cache of earthquakes here. This is a 2.2 near Tyonek, Alaska. Again, with it is a 1.3, a 1.7, and a 1.0, just north of Mount Redoubt. Not a big deal. These other earthquakes and tremors here almost have little value because the swarms that we've been seeing over here around Anchorage have dissipated. One, USGS may be hiding the information. Maybe there are more earthquakes here than USGS is telling us, and I'm sure that's the case. Because USGS is only telling us about 7 or 20 other earthquakes in this part of Alaska. Okay? North of Anchorage near Skrtina, Alaska, we have a 2.0 earthquake. Look at the tremors here. Hardly anything over here in Denali National Park. Only this one that's actually located to the northwest of Denali National Park, it's a 1.7 tremor in Denali National Park. But again, USGS says it's southeast of Denali. It's not. It's northwest of Denali. It's actually in Denali National Park. This earthquake to the west of Denali over here is a 1.1 tremor. They're calling this 19 miles south of Denali. How stupid are they? We know Denali is here. South of there is south of there. This is northwest of Denali. Okay? Look at what we have. We have a brand new earthquake here. It's a 1.7 here near Lake Minchineta. Lake Minchineta. Minchumina. Lake Minchineta. Okay? That's a new one. A 1.6 tremor there. Just happened. This is a 1.0 near Tanana, Alaska. Why have I mentioned this? Because there's a volcano there. Tanana, Alaska. Okay? Now there's only one other earthquake over here in central Alaska. It's right here. Guess where this is, or where they say it is? 0.9 microquake, 21 miles northwest of North Pole, Alaska. It's way south of North Pole, Alaska. Okay? Again, I believe there's more earthquakes here than they're talking about. Okay? Let's go back over here to Europe. Okay? Again, they're not telling us about any earthquakes over here. None. Not a lickin' one earthquake. I can't tell you how that makes me feel, because they continue to lie about what's going on. I just don't know. Maybe I don't get it. I don't want to get it. Over here in northeastern Turkey, near the Syrian border, there's 75 earthquakes here. All weekend long, they've been getting 5.0s, 5.5s, 4.8s, 4.7s, 4.5s. 75 plus earthquakes there today. And yet they say there's only 207 earthquakes worldwide. I can identify probably another 800 that they're not talking about. It's stupidity. There are earthquakes all over Turkey here. 20 plus earthquakes over here in Greece, right there. Earthquakes around Crete. Okay? Earthquakes over here in Sicily and Italy, all over. 25 plus earthquakes just here in Italy by itself. Over here in Croatia, we have earthquakes. Over here in the Alps, the Italian, Swiss, and German and French Alps, we have earthquakes. Most of them are 1.2s, 1.7s. I believe there's only one 3.0. All this week over here in France, France has been peppered with earthquakes all over. Switzerland and Germany have had small, minor earthquakes there. But France has been hit with earthquakes and tremors all over their country. Literally. I'm not joking. Spain also has its share of earthquakes and tremors, and over here between Spain and Morocco, there's this earthquake fault right here. Okay? They're not showing it in the water, but there's an earthquake fault running out of Africa here, right over here, just east of the Strait of Gibraltar. There's about 6 earthquakes here. 6 earthquakes here. Over in the Azores, there's about 6 earthquakes here in the Azores area as well. Okay? I'm going to go north. Over here in England, we don't have any earthquakes showing there. Denmark. We have a couple earthquakes there. Over here in Sweden, we have several earthquakes over here in Sweden today. They're just tremors, but there's still seismic movement here in Scandinavia. Okay? Going over here to Iceland. Iceland has about 16 earthquakes here. A lot of them up here to the north. Why? See the North Mid-Atlantic Fault here. The North Mid-Atlantic Fault is cutting Iceland in half. Most of these earthquakes are Mid-Atlantic Fault related. Yes, they're minor tremors, and that's about it. Okay? Over here, near the volcanoes, 2 volcanoes are still active, still fountaining and spewing lava out of them. They're not inactive at all. They're still very active volcanoes here in Iceland. There's still some earthquake activity around those volcanoes as well. Over here in the Mid-Atlantic Fault area, just east of the Mid-Atlantic Fault, we have some islands of the Azores. There's about 3 earthquakes in this area here related to the Azore Islands. Okay? They're just minor, but still we need to talk about them. Okay? Still need to talk about them. People have been inhabited in the Azore Islands for years. Some people were evacuated from the Azore Islands last year and also this year because they thought a volcano there, and I don't remember the name of this island right here. Okay? There's a big long island right here. And I don't remember the name of it, but the volcano was slated to erupt, and they had to evacuate that island. Now there's another island, I believe it's right there. That island right there, they had a volcano here that they thought was going to erupt, so they evacuated that island as well. So anyway, there have been people living out here, and there may still be now, but there's not that much chance of an eruption right now. To just minor tremors hit and miss over here in the eastern Azore Island, or western Azore Islands here. Okay, let's go over here. Okay, I don't want to forget this area here. Over here, just north and west of the U.S. Virgin Islands. Again, USGS doesn't know what butt they're pooping out of here. Sorry, I'm just saying. This is a 3.6 earthquake. They have it north-northeast of Cruz Bay. It's north-northwest of Cruz Bay. A 3.6 earthquake here. Over here in northeastern Puerto Rico, this is a 3.1 earthquake. A 3.1 earthquake in northeastern Puerto Rico. Now, I'm going to check something real quick because I don't believe they know what they're talking about. I want to check this release really quick here. Okay? Because we have never just had one earthquake there. Okay? But the Europeans are telling us that nothing is there. That nothing is there. This earthquake here happened at just after 1:22 p.m. today, Eastern Time. The Europeans are showing us no earthquakes there. Folks, this is 4 years after. 4 years after the mean machine of the world. The mean machine of the world ignited 3 different facilities around the world. One in Norway, one in northwestern Australia, and one in Russia. Ignited 3 facilities, and I will show you what it was. They ignited those 3 facilities. They triangulated southwestern Puerto Rico and created an 8.0 earthquake December 28th that year, 2019. 2 days later, on December 30th, they cranked it up again and caused an 8.4 major earthquake. An 8.0 and an 8.4 earthquake. 2 different earthquakes, 2 different days, and in the same area, causing major damage in that area. Major damage in that area. For the first time in 4 years, we do not show any earthquakes in Puerto Rico. USGS is not showing any over here in the Dominican Republic. Folks, how can that be? It's just not true. Over here in the eastern part of the Dominican Republic, okay, we're showing an earthquake at Los Yerbos, San Pedro de Macorcas province, okay, in the Dominican Republic. Folks, it was a 3.2 earthquake. It was a 3.2 earthquake. And that's not all. Just northwest of there, Urababoca, La Vega province. Okay? This was also a 3.2 earthquake. A 3.2 earthquake. Okay? USGS saying, oh, nothing happened. 2 3.2 earthquakes right there. However, let's go over to Haiti. This is near St. Michael du Sud, NEPAS Department, Haiti. Okay? Right over here. Okay? Here is another 3.3 earthquake here. A 3.3 earthquake right there. Okay? And of course, they don't want to even claim it. Oh, nothing happened. Nothing happened. Okay? I'm trying to show you the name of that place because I'll never be able to pronounce it. St. Michael du Sud, NEPAS Department, Haiti. Okay? That happened there. But of course, let me show you something else here. Okay? Let's go down here to South America. Look at this. Oh, nothing's happened today in Chile. Really? Nothing's happened in Chile, huh? Look at all these earthquakes here. South Central Chile, offshore Mali, Chile. We start off here with a 2.8 earthquake. I'm only going to go show you one more to the north of there. This is a 3.0 earthquake. Okay? There's a 3.0 earthquake. There's 2s and 3s throughout this area here. And they'll never be telling us the truth. Let's go north. I just don't know what to think, guys. I've been giving up on this agency for a very long time. Argentina, Salta, Argentina. Salta, doggone it. Salta, Argentina, there's a 2.6 and a 3.5 earthquake right here. 2.6 and a 3.5 earthquake right here, Salta, Argentina. This is on the Chile-Argentine border. Okay? Let's go north. Tarapaca, Chile. There's a 2.7 earthquake. 2s and 3s throughout this area in Tarapaca, Chile. Okay? Just offshore, there's another 2.7 here. Just offshore there is a 2.7 just offshore from Tarapaca, Chile. Let's go north, this time into Peru. Palpa, Inca, Peru, a 3.9, 4.0 right there. Southern Peru. A 3.9, 4.0 right there. Okay? That's also over near Sabancaya volcano. Another volcano, Albinas volcano. One earthquake over there near the two volcanoes. Over in eastern Ecuador, this is a 4.8 earthquake here. A 4.8 earthquake there in southeastern Ecuador. Then we go north to Cundinamarca, Santander, Colombia. Okay, a 2.3 earthquake right here. A 2.3, a 2.7, a 4.9, 5.0 earthquake. This was a 5.2 earthquake earlier today. A 5.2 earthquake earlier today. They downgraded to 4.9. There's other aftershocks there as well. And the aftershocks are anywhere from 2.9 doggone it, what is going on here? A 2.9 and 2.9s, two 2.9s, and the 5.2, 4.9 earthquake right there. Okay? That's in Santander, Antioquia, and Cundinamarca, Colombia. Okay? That's a lot to put in your mouth, isn't it? Over here in northern Colombia, right along the shoreline, this is a 3.0 earthquake right here. Okay? Then, over in Panama. Now, I am taking some time talking about this because this agency doesn't talk about it, do they? Heaven forbid they talk about earthquakes in Panama. Okay? There's a 3.7 earthquake right there. 3.7 earthquake here. Costa Rica, guys. Costa Rica. The border area of Costa Rica and Panama. Another 3.2 right there. And a 2.8 right there, right next to it. Okay? We go north. Costa Rica, a 3.3 earthquake over here in northeastern Costa Rica as well. Okay? Then we get into southern Mexico. We come over here into southern Mexico. USGS shows us one earthquake here. This is near Champapirico, Guatemala. That's it. That's it. They don't show us anything else. Southern Mexico. Look what we have here. Okay? There's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 earthquakes here. That's a 2.8. There's 4.0s, 3.5s, 3.0s, 2.7s, 3.2s, 3.0s all over this area. Between 2s, 3s, and 4.0s all over southern Mexico there. USGS cannot tell the truth about it, can they? Over here in the resort areas, the Riviera of Mexico, you can see all the quakes here. 2, 4, 6, 8 earthquakes here. Let's look at that. Okay? Actually, there's more than that. There's a lot more than that. I see 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, 17, 18 earthquakes. Okay? Okay? This is a 3.8. That's a 3.8. Right next to it is another 4.2 earthquake. Okay? 4.2. Right next to it is a 3.6 earthquake. 3.6. And it goes on and on and on. Here's another 3.7. Okay? We go north. 4.2. 3.8. 3.9. 3.9 right there. Let's go north. There's a 3.6. Well inland in central Mexico right there. Okay, let's go north. 3.6, 3.7. Another 3.6 right there. Okay, let's go north. Again, this is the resort areas, the Riviera of Mexico. Down there is a 3.6 right there. Let's go north. Okay, 3.4, 4.0. Right there. That's a 4.0. We go north from there. This is a 3.4 Jalisco. USGS shows none. We go north, still in the resort area. Right off of Manzanillo, we have a 3.7 earthquake here. Just off the coast of Manzanillo, we have a 3.7 earthquake right there. Then, right here, we have Puerto Vallarta, where we don't have any earthquakes or anything around there. That's Puerto Vallarta right there. Okay? Then, we go over here. Baja California right there, right? Let's go over here near San Felipe. Okay? Here we have a 3.7 earthquake. 3.7 earthquake near San Felipe right there. Look what it's on. The San Andreas Fault. The San Andreas Fault, guys, the San Andreas Fault starts up here in Northern California, where it hooks up with two other fault zones. The Gourd Escarpment that runs away from the California coast headed west, and what else? The Cascadia Subduction Zone that leaves the Gourd Escarpment there. Sorry about that, guys. I'll bring it back. The Gourd Escarpment that leaves, the Cascadia Subduction Zone that leaves the Gourd Escarpment and runs along the north coast of California, Oregon, and Washington. Cascadia Subduction Zone. Then inland, we see another earthquake, okay? That is near Redway, California. It's a 2.03 earthquake. A 2.03 earthquake in Redway, California. North of there, you see an earthquake. This is Huitepec, California. It's spelled Weitchpec, California. It's a 2.39 earthquake here. It's a 2.39 earthquake. Okay? Then, what I've been telling you guys, let me show you. The San Andreas Fault runs all the way over here from Northern California, runs down the coast here. Runs down the coast, and folks, it bypasses San Francisco Bay up here and continues coming down. It starts to go inland here. Where is that? Okay? Lopez Point, California. Lopez Point, California, right here. This has nothing to do with that. Okay? That has absolutely nothing to do with that. These earthquakes up here, there's about 15 of them. These earthquakes up here are in the geysers. They're in the geysers area. This is a 1.1 tremor. The geysers area, what is that? Folks, the geysers area is a geothermal area. What happened? Folks, just simply, and I just bumped my camera and I messed it up here. They try to fix that for you. Okay, there we go. These 13, 14 earthquakes here. The reason we got those earthquakes there is because man has drilled into that lake there. That lake just happens to be a volcano. Clear Lake volcano. They've drilled into the upper magma chambers of the volcano to pull steam out of the volcano to power some turbines in the area, to power turbines to generate electricity. To power turbines to generate electricity over in the geysers area. That is Sonoma, California. Wine Country, California. That's where we've gotten fires in the fall, late summer, fall time in Sonoma, California. Same area. The geysers geothermal electrical facility. They generate electricity for Pacific Gas and Electric and three or four other electrical conglomerates, including Pacific Gas and Rocky Mountain Power, that supplies power for Utah. Okay? That's the geysers. Okay? Now, the San Andreas Fault has nothing to do with the geysers. San Andreas Fault runs far to the west. It skirts the California coast here, and then it goes over towards San Francisco Bay. This is San Francisco Bay here, to the south and to the north here. We've been having all kinds of earthquakes this week, this past week, and even this weekend, to include a 2.3 earthquake right here on the San Andreas Fault, 1 mile west of the San Francisco Zoo. 1 mile west of the San Francisco Zoo, a 2.3 earthquake. Now, southeast of the southeast of the San Francisco Bay is Sunol, California, a 1.62 earthquake. Sunol, California. Okay? Again, really nothing to do with San Francisco Bay. South of San Francisco, south of Monterey Bay, is Lopez Point. This also has nothing to do with the San Andreas Fault. It's far to the east of there. This is the Oceana Fault area. Okay? So we see the San Andreas Fault continuing far south. Okay? Now we left Lopez Point. It's gone, San Andreas Fault has gone far inland, hasn't it? Then all of a sudden, we get down here near the Garlock Fault area. Gorman, California. Gorman, California, we have a 1.30 earthquake at the intersection of the Garlock and the San Andreas Fault. Okay? Now the Garlock Fault is a very interesting fault itself. We hardly knew anything about the Garlock until the 7.0, 8.0 ridge crest quake hit. USGS, guess what? USGS, they hardly said anything about it until after the ridge quest. Boy, can I not talk? It's ridiculous. Okay? Right here is the Gorman earthquake here. Okay? We have a quarry blast here in the Mojave Desert. What is this? Folks, this is them mining borax. Borax. This is a 1.3 tremor caused by a quarry blast here. They're mining borax out of the desert here. You notice how close it was to the Garlock Fault here? The Garlock Fault meets up down here with the San Andreas, the Garlock Fault runs north over here to Ridgecrest, China Lake area. North and east of Ridgecrest out here in Searles Valley, we have a 1.1 tremor, having nothing to do with the Garlock Fault area. This is completely different. There's some minor faults out here as well, out here in the valley. Okay, this is the Desert Valley, by the way. Okay, this is just northeast of Ridgecrest in Searles Valley. And that's the only earthquake that they're showing here. It's a 1.0 tremor here. 1.0 tremor. USGS has it as a 1.1. North of there. North of there. This is another place we have here. And I think we need to talk about it. I think we really need to talk about it. This is Lone Pine, California. Folks, this also has to do with what happened when the Ridgecrest quake hit. We've had tremors and full-blown earthquakes up here in Lone Pine for quite some time. Now today we have a 1.8 tremor here. A 1.8 tremor. Going further north here. This is an earthquake. It has nothing to do with earthquake faults, however. This is a volcanic area called Round Valley. The Round Valley volcano. A 2.3 earthquake here, near Round Valley volcano itself. Okay? The magma channel there. We go further north here. This is Mammoth area. This is a 0.5 microquake. This is Mammoth Lakes here, a 0.3. Mammoth Lakes, California. Then, I want to show you this. North of Mono Lake here, or Mono Lake, excuse me, Mono Lake right here, and you can see the summit of the volcano here at Mono Lake right here. It's poking up out of the water of the lake. Mono Lake volcano here. North of there here, we have another quake here. What's going on? This is Walker, California. Walker, California. Markleeville, California. It's a 1.1 tremor here. Walker Lane Fault. Walker Lane Fault. What do we know about Walker Lane Fault? The last time we had a major earthquake here, it was a 6.9, 7.0 earthquake. They called it a 6.9, but it was probably over a 7.0 earthquake. Okay? The Walker Lane Fault. It was in Antelope Valley here, just west of Markleeville. Antelope Valley. A 7.0 earthquake on the Walker Lane Fault. The Walker Lane Fault runs from up here just south of Pyramid Lake. This is a volcano. Pyramid Lake is a volcano. The Walker Lane Fault runs from this volcano all the way south here and west of Mono Lake volcano, all the way south here past Mammoth, continues to run all the way down here, all the way south here, west of the Mojave Desert, skirting the Mojave Desert, running all the way down here to the Salton Sea. And just like the San Jacinto Fault, it runs all the way down here to Baja, California, and the Gulf of California here. Now, if you go look at the Navy map, I've mentioned this on many of our programs. If you look at the Navy map will show you that this area here of this southern part of the Walker Lane Fault in the the San Andreas Fault, this area is all underwater at some point in our future history. This whole area will be underwater all the way up here, until we get to Pyramid Lake. This area will be an inland waterway at some point in time. An inland waterway. Space Force South says that deal with drilling into volcanoes, it feels wicked. Really? In some way, I have to agree with you. That started with the late Senator Reid from Nevada. Harry Reid, the Democrat from Nevada, started us drilling into volcanoes in the 60s. Drilling into the volcanoes to get steam to power turbines to generate electricity. Now, folks, over here in northern Nevada, Reno, Nevada, they have a geothermal area similar to the geysers, similar to what you see at the Salton Sea, similar to what you see down south of the border. Folks, it's been going on for a long time. South of the border, and I'm going to take you here, right down here. They're doing the same thing here at Cerro Prado volcano in Mexico. The Cerro Prado volcano down here in Mexico. I'm sorry, that's not it. My bad. Let me pull it up here because I know it's here. I've been up here so many times here, it's not funny. I've been all through this area here, and now I can't find the Cerro Prado volcano. That's stupid. That is so dumb. That's ridiculous. I know where it is. Right here. It's right here. Right there. That's a Cerro Prado volcano, guys. That's a wonderful place to start carving into the lava rock of the volcano to put a great big huge bird here. To put a great big huge bird here at this volcano. South of that volcano here is a geothermal area. All over this area, guys. Geothermal pipes running out here to turbines to generate electricity for Mexico. To generate electricity for Mexico. This is a huge facility, guys. We've shown you this before. This is a huge facility. Okay? It's a geothermal facility just like we've seen up here at the Salton Sea. Okay? Just south of the Salton Sea here is an earthquake. A 1.5 tremor, they are saying 7 miles west-northwest of Calipatria, California. If I showed you the seismogram from Calipatria, it would show you hundreds of earthquakes. minimum of 100 to 150 earthquakes here every day. Not just 2 days, but every day. Every 24 hours, there's at least 100 to 150 earthquakes here. Okay? Why? One of the reasons why is they've dug and drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Cerro Prieto volcano to harvest steam to power turbines. Right here you see 3 banks of turbines. One right there and 2 right there. They have 10 facilities now here in the Imperial Valley south of the Salton Butte volcano. Yes, the Salton Butte volcano is right here. The Salton Butte volcano is right there. It's covered by water. But they've drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Salton Butte volcano to power turbines to generate electricity. They've done this up in the Cozo area, north of Ridgecrest. Cozo volcano also has a facility they call Devil's Kitchen. Why? Because it's so blasting hot there. 125 degrees in the summer. So bloomin' hot there. Okay? The Cozo volcano. Let me see if I can find it here. The Cozo area is right in about this area right here. Okay? Highway 395 in California runs over here. And up in these mountains are drill points. Because the Cozo volcano is here. They drilled into the upper magma chambers of the Cozo volcano to pull steam to generate electricity out here in the desert. Wonderful thing here. Wonderful thing. They've got them all over now. Literally. Literally. You can't avoid seeing it. You really can't. Now, USGS is not showing you any earthquakes here in the Pacific Northwest, are they? Not one earthquake. Now, folks, look here. The European agency, the EMSC, is also not showing us anything. Not one earthquake. Why not? Because, folks, they don't want to show you anything. They honestly don't care. I've been through this for a very, very long time. Now, what I'm going to do, if you'll just give me a second here, I'm going to show you one seismogram from this area. Because I know darn well there are earthquakes in this area. I've got a little tiny, itsy bitsy, teeny weeny fly flying all over my office. I've got a few downstairs, okay? But I've got 1 or 2 here in my office I wish I can to make sure they'd go away. Oh, how I wish that was the case. Anyway, in just a second, I'm going to show you a seismogram. Oh, darn it. One hit me in the head. Now, what would you like to see, Mount Rainier or Mount St. Helens? I can show you one or either of them. It's getting late here. I don't want to keep you forever here. Would you like to see Mount Rainier or Mount St. Helens? Does anybody prefer one place or the other? Both of them volcanoes, but I can guarantee you every one of the Cascade Mountain volcanoes is having issues. Okay? It's rumbling. Well, since nobody has answered, I think we'll go over to Mount Rainier. Okay? Mark Stolte's in Springfield, Oregon. A great place, actually. A very nice place. Okay? Okay. Let me pull some information off of here so I can be left with nothing but seismograms. Okay? I'm going to show you the Mount Rainier Camp Sherman seismogram. Okay, let me pull that information for you because it's going to be fun. I guarantee you there's earthquakes around. I cut and pick and guarantee it. You'd think that since I've been doing this for a long time, you'd think I can pull it up right away, and I am. I've already got it in my database here. I've just got to get to my file, and I'll have it. Just have a shake here. Guess what? I got it. Folks, this is Mount Rainier Camp Sherman. This is over on the north flank or the north side of the volcano. Okay? Camp Sherman. Let me widen this out so you can see exactly what we're showing here. Look at all these tremors. The vertical lines here are tremors and earthquakes, except if there's no dot in the vertical line. If the vertical line does not have a dot, that is a steam signal, a steam signature, meaning Mount Rainier is emitting steam from the volcano. Okay? But look at these other earthquakes. These longer vertical lines any more than an inch in length. Though if they're about an inch in length, they're a 2.0 earthquake, except, let me show you this. Look at this large signal right here. This wide, or I should say narrow, rectangular looking signal. This is a superheated signal. Well, it indicates superheated magma in the volcano. Okay? It's a magma churn signal. Look how wide it is. Okay? Also look how long it is. The magma churn signals are indicative of how far this seismogram is showing us earthquakes. Okay? It usually is 23 to 24 lines high. Okay? We show 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Let me make sure I count it right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 lines high. So this seismograph that recorded this seismogram was turned down to about 26% of real world. 26% of real world. So every one of these earthquakes are about 3 times as large as they're showing. This earthquake over here, the long one to the right here, the center right, that would be a 2.5 earthquake if it was real world. So folks, this is more like a 3.5, 4.0 earthquake at Mount Rainier. These others above it, probably closer to a 3.0. probably closer to a 3.0. And these other ones that are longer here, at least a 3.0 as well. These others are shorter, probably 2.0s. The horizontal lines here, guys, some lines are thicker than others. These horizontal lines, folks, are indicating magma coming into this volcano. Okay? These horizontal lines are thinner and thicker, right? When they go from thinner to thicker to thinner again, those are called magma pulse signals. Magma PULSE signals. Okay? They go from thinner to thinner again, indicating magma coming into the magma chamber. And when that usually happens and they get thicker, we have some tremors and earthquakes. Why? Because as the magma comes into the volcano, it causes rock fracturing. The magma coming into the volcano is coming in under pressure, and it's fracturing the rock inside the volcano. That's what we're seeing here. Fracturing rock is indicative of earth movement, and that's what we're seeing. Now this earthquake that is in the center left of your slide here, it's thicker here, isn't it? Okay? It's also got a triangle going out to the right side of that earthquake. That earthquake lasted probably 2 seconds or 3 seconds, not very long. However, this is just over an inch long. If this seismogram was accurately recording information, this would maybe be a 2.2 earthquake. But since we know that this seismogram was turned down to 26% of real world, this is actually probably closer to a 3.5, 4.0 earthquake. So now we have two 4.0 earthquakes here at Mount Rainier today, at this one volcano. There may be others, such as Mount Glacier Peak, Mount St. Helens, Mount Baker to the north just south of the Canadian border, or south into Oregon. Mount Hood, for example. Mount Hood. That volcano there at Mount Hood in Oregon has been getting hit with earthquakes. Magma coming into that volcano causing rock fracturing, which is earth movement. A lot of it. South of there we have Newberry volcano. Still a lot of seismic activity happening there because magma entering that magma chamber. South of there, Sisters volcano. Also been very active. South of there, down in south central Oregon, we have Crater Lake volcano. Crater Lake volcano. Just like that other volcano we talked about, there's water up at the top of that volcano. Water at the top of the volcano. And that volcano has been rocking and rolling with minor earthquakes and tremors for a very, very long time. At least 4.5 years that I've been doing this. All these volcanoes are active. But Crater Lake has a huge alpine lake at the top of it, full of cold water. Can you imagine 2,000 degree magma hitting that cold water? That volcano would literally explode during an eruption. It would explode during an eruption. Okay? That's what we have going on here in the Cascadia subduction zone region, in the Cascade Mountainous region. Okay? Even down to Northern California. The Cascade Mountains in California involve Mount Lassen and Mount Shasta. Mount Lassen and Mount Shasta are in the Cascade Mountain region, and they're equally as active. In fact, I'm going to tell you that Lassen and Lassen and Shasta actually look like they could erupt at any time. Mount Lassen to the south of Shasta, the last time it erupted was 1917. And yet we've been having earthquakes that people could feel all down in that area. My dear friend Heather, that is one of our mods and one of our weather experts here on this channel, she lives there. She feels earthquakes all the time there, as do several others of you living in that region. It's totally insane, guys. It's insane. We have a lot of volcanoes in California, Washington, and Oregon that are just about ready to go. In the coming days this week, this is just Monday, in the coming days this week, we're going to be talking about earthquakes and volcanoes. We're also going to be talking about earthquakes in Southern California. In the next day or so, we're going to be talking about earthquakes in the New Madrid area and also on the East Coast of the United States. We're going to continue to talk about earthquakes around the world, so stay tuned. Stay tuned. Our wonderful holistic nutrition nurse, Griffin, just gave us a $5 super chat. We want to thank everyone who contributes to this program. We appreciate super chats. Folks, our electricity bill skyrocketed $100 more than it ever was in the past 2 years that I've lived here. Our bill for internet has also skyrocketed. I need high-speed internet to put on this program, to be able to have wide broadband signals here so I can do this program. You guys who give us super chats and also contribute to our 2 PayPal locations and our Venmo locations are greatly appreciated. You don't know how much it makes a difference when it comes to keeping this program on the air. When I first started this 4 years ago, I didn't even realize it would cost money to put on this program, but it does. So I appreciate everyone who contributes to this program. It makes our day. It makes our life a little bit easier. You also have been helping me pay my cancer bills, my treatment bills, which you don't know how much I appreciate that as well. Thank you ever so much for all of your contributions here to this program. I greatly appreciate it, and God is blessing you. I know that. I've talked to a number of you who have told me that God has blessed you for helping us here on this program. We appreciate it greatly. Now, folks, before we end this program, I want to leave you with a few thoughts of my own out of the scriptures. In days and months past, I often have gone to the scriptures for ideas. I've gone to the scriptures for inspiration, and I've gone to the scriptures to give you something to think about, some inspiration of your own. Today, I'm going into the New Testament in the book of Colossians. Okay? Going into Colossians, and we're going into the 3rd chapter of Colossians, starting with verse 17. Okay? And whatsoever ye do in word or deed, do all in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father by him. Wives, submit yourselves unto your husbands as it is fit in the Lord. Husbands, love your wives and be not bitter against them. Children, obey your parents in all things, for this is well pleasing unto the Lord. Verse 21. Fathers, provoke not your children to anger, lest they be discouraged. Why did they say that? If you discourage your children, what kind of children will they turn out to be? What kind of leaders will they turn out to be? If they're discouraged, they're not going to be fit leaders in our communities to keep our communities alive. Promote your children. Give them kudos. Help them. Help them and teach them to be good citizens in our communities. For those of us who hold jobs, the scriptures also talk to us in verse 22. Servants, obey in all things your masters according to the flesh. In other words, be good employees. Don't cheat your employer. Don't lie to them. Give them a full day's work. And it doesn't stop there. Not with eye service. Don't just tell them you're going to do a good job. Make sure you do it. Not with eye service as man pleasers, but in singleness of heart, fearing God. And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Lord and not unto men. Verse 24. Knowing that of the Lord ye shall receive reward of the inheritance, for ye serve the Lord Christ. For ye serve the Lord Christ. Nurse Ava Marie just gave us another $2 super chat. God bless you for that. Thank you ever so much. And she just gave us another $2 super chat. God bless you. We sure appreciate you, Ava. We really do. God bless you in all things you do. God bless you all. Folks, I really mean this. I chose this scripture because I've seen a lot of people lately that aren't doing what they need to be doing. A lot of parents that give lip service to the Lord. Please don't do that. Your family is most important. The Lord is just above that. The two most important units of your life. One, God. Two, your family. You were given a family that loved you. You came to the earth to goodly parents who raised you to be good people. To also raise good children, grandchildren to your parents. Good leaders in our community. The family unit is the most important thing in our society. As our society gets worse, it's only indicative of our family unit. If we have good families, we have good servants to the Lord, and we have good servants in our communities. Folks, I leave you with that. I love each and every one of you. I'm expecting a call any minute from Hawaii. If they give me any more further information about what's going on in Maui, I will pass it on to you. Now, I have an appointment with not with a client, but with one of my sources at Pasadena tomorrow morning. If they have anything for me, I will also pass it on to you tomorrow evening. I hope you have a great night and a better tomorrow. If anything happens between tonight and tomorrow, we will come on the air to tell you about it as soon as the information becomes available. I hope you have a great night, guys, like I said. You guys are my inspiration. You are what keeps me going here. I love each and every one of you. I really do. God be with you. God bless and protect you. God be with you till we meet again. That is my prayer for you, even in the sacred name of our Lord and Savior, even Jesus Christ. Amen. Have a great night, guys. See you around the corner. Good night.